You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to the Ticket Stub, your favorite place for movie news and reviews. We broadcast every Thursday at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 from beautiful Conroe, Texas. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at @Ticket Stub. Ticket Stub has a ticket sponsorship with the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinema. Visit irlonestar.com for information about the show and sponsorships, or you can drop us a line at 936-647-3776. Also, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rate and review across all platforms. My name's Connor. I'm one of the hosts of the show, joined in studio, as always, by Chris Appel. How you doing, sir? Oh.
Replug it in.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
Can you hear me?
Hey, her.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I'm
Testing.
Fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Unique New York. Okay, he's working
What's
for
up?
now.
What's up?
Uh,
This is Dick Schichter on the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, yo.
Thank you for introducing me, Connor.
Well, I was about to, but your equipment keeps failing, and so that kind of threw me
Don't
off.
touch it. I told you not to touch it.
Oh, the problem is
Well,
If
we
you look
have-
at it, it's going to do it. It's shorted out. I told you. It's shorted out.
Yeah, well, so if Chris randomly drops off, it'll actually improve the show, but that is
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
because his mic box is not working. But you know what? We're grateful to be here either way, Dick. Thank you for all that you do.
Whatever.
Thank you. Let's slow clap right now. Ready? Okay, that's enough. All right. Well, welcome to the Ticket Stub Stubbies. We got a good show today. We are going to be doing movie news, including a trailer for what's coming out this weekend. Then we're going to be rewinding movies that we've seen over the last week. And finally, because this show is actually coming out on V-Day, Valentine's Day,
Oh, Victory Day?
Victory Day, VE Day, or something like that.
VED.
VE.
Not to be confused with VD Day.
Oh, that's the
That
day
is
after.
something
Yes.
completely
That's
different.
February 15th.
Yes.
But Valentine's Day is the day of the show's premiering, so we're going to be doing the top 3 love stories. Because
You know, we should have done top 3 love scenes.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
if I sent you this in more
I
than
like
3
next
hours,
time.
I like that scene in Requiem for a Dream when
Oh,
at the
no.
very end when she
Yeah.
had to get some money.
Yep.
It was a
Yep.
good scene.
was that the grandma?
No,
Okay.
that was
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was
It's
very.
a love scene, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, yeah.
What kind of love scene are you talking about?
Hey, love is love, man. Hashtag love
Yeah.
is love. Anything, all love is love, no matter what. Little,
Thank you.
you're welcome, dude. I'm
That
here to
was very
inspire.
inspirational.
I'm here to inspire. Okay, well, so we're gonna do that, and also we want to make sure that we say that you can win 2 tickets to the Grand Theater Amstar Cinema every show. Dick, I'm doing it on the front end. Aren't you proud of me? And so what you need to do for that is you need to go to our social media, go to either Facebook, Twitter, and send us a message. We'll get you in the pool for the drawings, and we'll make sure that we do that week by week. Let's go ahead and hop into some movie news. Actually, pause, Chris. The theater, the seats. You're doing the reno.
Yes, we are.
The Grand Theater over there. What's the lead line?
It
in
is,
Conroe.
yeah, on League Line Road, yes.
Yeah.
North of Conroe.
So you have seats now.
Extreme-
You didn't everyone
do
was
not-
standing before?
Yeah. It was standing room only. It's so popular.
What movie would you stand for?
The
whole thing.
The Step Up series.
Cold
Really?
Pursuit.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, they cleared out for breakdancing, so you can dance
Yes.
along.
I would definitely do it for the Emoji Movie.
Oh, there you go.
stand so you could leave quickly.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
nothing holding you back from leaving.
I'll leave a surprise for the theater. But
But the Grand Theater in
You know,
Conroe.
Deliverance probably is not one you'd really want to sit down.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, because you know.
because of what? Because of what, Chris?
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
the theater's getting a little reno.
Yes, yeah.
Little renovation.
Yeah,
getting
we're about
comfy
half-
seats.
we're
The head
about half-
crushers,
You,
aka.
you didn't bring any beer, dude. Y'all serve beer and wine.
We do, yeah.
Are y'all doing any of those? You were talking about some theaters doing the select like mojito
Yes, we
kind
have
of
a,
things.
Yeah, we have a sangria in honor of What Women Want.
Okay.
And so we're selling the sangria.
And women want sangria.
Who's in
I guess
charge
they
of
do.
this?
Um,
Making this decision.
They have master mixologists that they
Yes.
consult.
Well, I mean, I think it's neat, but it's just kind of funny that
We have
like what goes good with what women want or what men want. Sangria.
It's because that's what women want, dude. They love a good
yeah,
sangria.
I mean, it's.
I guess.
I do enjoy your videos though, by the way, Chris.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You actually make social media what it needs to be. Is a place for happiness.
Make social media great again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking
Social
of that.
media, the place for people to go, what am I watching?
Wait, what is this?
What is this?
So at your theater, they're selling sangria.
Yes, we have it.
Are people buying it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's a big popular seller. If you want a good sangria on your Valentine's,
I've been there for last Valentine's. I went to the theater because they were first serving alcohol,
yeah,
and I got lit. It was fun.
Liddy. But they did not overserve. I'm
It
sure.
costs me a lot of money, though. I'm gonna have to say that.
Yeah. It's premium.
Premium pricing.
Premium drink.
Yes, premium pricing. Okay, well, now to movie news. Thank you, Chris, for the update. Excited for the comfy seats. Excited. You know, I have not.
Oh, I didn't give you an update, really. We're about halfway done. We're about halfway done with the first side. So there you go.
Halfway done. So 1/4 done. Halfway done with
There's
half.
no seats in. Okay, well, anyway, yeah. We're almost.
Can
we're
me,
almost
can me and
ready
Dick
to
go see it at some point? Like, are you allowed to walk back there and look?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I could swing it for you guys.
oh,
but
hey.
not
Where'd
the,
you get that coffee?
Not the general public. The gas station.
Oh, I got mine from Dick. Thanks, buddy.
I didn't know you drank coffee, dude.
Yeah.
You always bring water.
Yeah, I always sneak it into the movie theater because you stopped serving it.
Where do you sneak it in?
In my
Like-
my colostomy fake colostomy bag.
Oh, I see.
People
So,
don't.
my liver's failing. That's why it's
People
brown.
don't judge me when I have it out.
Yeah.
Oh, you ever see that Tim and Eric Awesome show where it was D pants? It was like
No.
a pant liner that went inside your pants so you could use the restroom all the time.
Is there a love scene that involves a colostomy bag?
I hope not.
There
Dear
might-
You know,
Lord.
Holly was telling me a very disturbing story about when she works on some of the inmates sometimes. That apparently, if an inmate has a colostomy hole, he gets moved around a lot
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because they don't want him?
because of the weird stuff they do in prison when they don't have
Wow.
ways to release.
Oh, gross. What are we talking about? Can we talk about movie
Ticket
news, please?
Stub,
Can we
episode
please,
90.
Can we please, dear Lord, talk about movie news?
Wait, what are we doing for the 100th episode? Do we know yet?
We need to figure it out because 100 we're 10 away. 90
we'll
minus
figure it
100
out.
is
We
10.
should call it the Hundy.
The
I think
Hundy.
Chase and Parker.
Why
that's
should we
the
do
first
that?
time I heard somebody say that, the Hundy.
What does that mean?
100.
What did he? Why did
said
he?
A Hundy. It was $100 bill.
Oh, Jason Parker was pulling out a roll of hundies.
No, no. I don't know. I don't remember what context.
Dude, when I'm making it rain at the club, I'm talking.
I just
I'm throwing
remember him
hundies all
saying
over the
it.
place. All right, well, we're gonna do movie news for a change. So there's the Entertainment Weekly, an actual website,
Oh.
had an article about the Aquaman spin-off movie in the works. Let me tell you, everything about this sounds terrible.
No,
if you're asking me.
I read this article,
Congrats.
and
That's
what
good.
it made me think of was the fact that they teased this was just to keep people talking about Aquaman. Like,
Oh, that's a good
there's
point.
like zero real effort they're going to put into this spinoff. It's like, oh, we'll be in development for the next 3 years until the other Aquaman 2 comes out.
Yeah, the film will not feature any of the main Aquaman cast, Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, and it will be much more modestly budgeted. So
Well, 9 months from now, they'll be like, oh, there's an update. We moved it down from full scale movie production. We're kind of shopping around maybe a TV show. And then they'll be like, oh, TV show, we're going to shop around web series. And then there's going to be like, oh, it never really happened.
You know, Batman has Robin. I think Aquaman should have a sidekick. You know,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
like Dolphin Boy. or
Dolphin.
something. You know, something. Maybe
Seahorse
they can make
Man.
a Dolphin Boy movie.
that'd be good. Like he uses
Well, I never
his
saw
echolocation.
Aquaman. Did you see Aquaman?
I did not.
Or
So
sonar.
You saw Aquaman.
I saw Aquaman.
So what they were talking about the trench scene, I did remember reading reviews about how grand scale some of the world building was,
Yeah.
but they never touched on it. It was like, look at these awesome things, but it's only in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, the whole expanse of the ocean, hard to cover all of that in like a 2-hour movie, probably. But the trench, basically, think about like creatures from the depths that have lost sight, and I mean, it's like one of the old Atlantean races that somehow got either cast down. I forget exactly what happened, but they're basically just monsters. Think of like some sort of zombie, and for whatever reason, they have to go there to get some piece of equipment, and they chase them around, but they're able to evade them all. And I guess somehow that group, the trench people, like, I don't know what the plot could possibly be because they don't talk. They just want to kill. So I don't know. There'd be like a lot of character arc. I guess it could be like, oh, I'm a trench guy and she broke up with me and I'm really upset right now. I wanted to go to prom with you. I don't know.
Prom.
Trench prom, dude.
Trench
You
prom.
never heard of trench prom?
But again, when I read the article, I just smelt that they released this
You
just
smell what they're cooking.
yeah, they're trying to keep the Aquaman in the search engines.
Did it
and-
smell fishy?
So yeah, definitely smell a little fish out of water. And
water.
if you agree with me, if any listener agrees with me, let me know because I felt that was a good hunch to say that.
Yeah, you're a sleuth. Chris, what do you think about this? Good, bad, terrible?
He didn't see the movie. He didn't
yeah,
care.
I don't know. I gotta see. I don't know.
Heaven forbid either of y'all ever see a movie in theaters.
Any movie that's something original is good.
Well, this is not original, so that's
well,
bad.
it is because they didn't make an Aquaman movie before, so it's kind of like a spin-off. You know what I mean? It's not like a reboot.
What's funny is ever since
It's like a reboot. It's more of like a spin-off.
Well, it's like ever since that Entourage show came on, and
Yeah.
part of the ongoing joke in that show was Aquaman. I was kind of surprised they didn't make the movie, just because I always felt that was a great way to meme it in a sense. Like, I'm surprised the internet didn't just start making fun of this movie. You know, what's his name?
Vinny Chase.
Vinny Chase. Like, why is Vinny Chase not in this movie? You know, that kind of crap.
Yeah, and with Zoolander, you know, he had that mermaid modeling gig that he did.
Yeah.
Water is the essence of beauty or whatever. So, anyways, you know, Aquaman, the trench people. I'm gonna go a couple thumbs down.
Does it say what they look like, or does it?
You see them in the show.
You do.
The trench people.
Well, that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. They spent so much time on this production and like world building, but they're only used in the movie for 5 to 20 minutes. That's it. So people felt, oh, they have a story. What's their story? Did you read the article?
No. Well, I didn't have time.
Yeah, it was a little late sending it.
Yeah.
They look kind of like that.
Our
Chris.
production staff has been really behind.
Yeah.
Chris, can you see that? They look kind of like that.
Oh.
So kind of like the Shape of Water dude, but he doesn't have a
know what it
he
looks
doesn't
like?
have a member that
So the
descends from his.
So the first look, Chris, where would you put it?
It looks like the Predator.
what?
So, hey,
okay,
we're
you need
playing-
a better photo.
We're
apparently.
playing a game. Where would you put it?
Where would I put what?
First look.
Have you seen Shape of Water? She does this like sign language of how like she
Yes.
sleeps. She's deaf, but she sleeps with.
I know.
Yeah.
Y'all took it sexual. I did not. I was saying, where would you put it?
I wasn't taking.
Where
it
would I
anywhere.
put what? What do you ask?
Those people.
those monsters? I would put them in the depths of the ocean.
There you go.
All right, next thing.
In the deep
The LA Times had an article that the Lego Movie 2, Chris, you're not going to appreciate this news. It fails to reignite the box office.
Okay, now the deal with that was that what did it make? 31? Is that what
Yeah, it was like
is?
35
31.
million.
And the
35
last
million.
one made 69 opening weekend.
Yes.
Okay,
But they projected it to make 50 to 55.
I get that, but there's been Lego movies. There's Lego Ninjago.
Well,
there's Lego Batman. It's there's too many Lego movies.
Well, that's
in
kind of
a
the point of the
short
article.
Period of time.
The point of the article is it's kind of saturated.
Well, I don't know. I've always, and you, Chris, you can tell me because you're always on the watch over at the theater. I always felt movies, the kids' movies especially, have a longevity in the theater. So you can't really judge, because most movies, like horror movies, kind of have a similar thing. They'll be in the theater for a while.
Right.
But any other big blockbuster, like the first weekend has to make this money. I don't really see that being applied to Lego 2, because next weekend, there's going to be the same families going, oh, hey, we were really busy last weekend. This weekend, go see
Sure.
a movie.
And it's a holiday weekend.
And it's
too,
going to be
so-
Lego too, because what other
Right.
kids' movies coming out next weekend? None.
None.
I think How to Train Your Dragon 4 or 5 or whatever it is coming out in 3 weeks.
It's the 22nd. Yeah.
So yeah, you still got 2 weekends that this could easily make 90 million.
Yeah, and this is a dud time of year. I mean, you can't January, February, save for Deadpool, whenever that comes
Well,
out in
I
February.
think this movie, the first one was released at the same time.
Yeah, this did say that this weekend was the lowest post Super Bowl box office in 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's not so good.
Well, there hasn't been a lot of
That's true.
Product.
But I think they were hoping this would kind of
Well,
kickstart it. What men want. Apparently, the sangria sales weren't enough to fully kick that off. It's
but
number
that's
2.
but that did good though. What was it? 18? That's
19
pretty good.
million.
Pretty
19
good for
million.
that.
Yeah, for a kind of middle range
So
movie like
I'm gonna
that.
do a
Yeah.
hot take real quick.
Hot.
So looking at the
That
way,
sounds so gross.
what the game were to put it.
I took a hot
Oh,
take
hot
earlier.
So no, I want to ask. This is kind of like from a full, big picture looking. So this is the worst weekend in 10 years, and then you definitely can say this year's Oscars nominations aren't very strong.
No.
So do you think overall, as people are making movies, do you think the people are changing in their habits seeing the movies, or do you think the movie industry is changing in the sense we're only going to make 2 good movies, the rest are just going to be blah? We're going to do Netflix and Amazon. The talent's somewhere else. The talent is basically somewhere else besides.
I don't think you understand hot takes. You're supposed to make a claim. You don't ask us a question.
No, I'm asking you. You think the?
I've got a hot take. What do you think?
No.
I think the film industry is suffering. This is an example of the talent in the creative world of filmmaking is going to Netflix and Amazon, and
Yeah.
it's now finally catching up to where people making movies and people who are trying to make money, like they're like, what do we do now? We don't. I'd rather just make my movie for 15, sell it to Netflix for 20.
No,
Oh,
I don't agree with that.
hot.
This is the movie theater industry and the cinema in general. It's cyclical. I mean, you have up years and you have
It's
down years.
sick. Look
Yeah,
cool.
it's
No, I understand
cyclical.
that, but
But it's just a cycle. We had what was 2009 was like a fantastic year, and 2010 was like a complete dud. And then you came back in 2011. It just goes up and down. I mean, but it's a product driven business. I would say that
This is fake, just like global warming, Dick.
Well,
that's unfair because
studios are
2009 Netflix wasn't as big as 2019.
No, I agree, but
So that's my hot take.
I
My
mean, I
hot
will
take
say-
is with these introductions.
no,
of
I don't
different
think that affects the movie box office.
No.
I don't.
Okay. Well, I mean, several of the Best Picture movies or several of the Oscar movies are ones that are from a streaming service. So that has to.
Well, I mean, that's changing.
It's getting diluted a little bit, I
But
guess.
Well, I'm also saying more.
If you
of,
want to go see like the new Batman that's coming out, whenever that comes out, does not have Ben Affleck in it,
Unfortunately,
which is great.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, he
you're
played
gonna
that
go
word.
to the theater to see it.
He played that
Martha!
game too. He played where to put it, and he lost.
Dude, he did.
Yeah.
So who's in the new Batman?
I don't think
no
they
one
have
knows.
a Batman yet.
Oh, so what? This is all hypothetical.
No, he's not in it. They said he's not in it.
Yeah, but there's a new movie, but they haven't announced who Batman is yet.
Yeah.
Right.
they're-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's always going to be in the theater?
Well, yeah, you're gonna go to the theater to see a big blockbuster like that Batman. Look at Aquaman. That made huge money.
Yeah.
This was just last month.
Yeah, because it
2
had
months
that
ago.
hunk guy.
2 months ago.
Yeah, Momoa.
Yeah. Well,
Khaleesi.
they can still get
Well,
it done.
I think what
I don't think
What
there's
I would be
any-
curious to see is the overall box office at the end of 2019 compared, because what I'm trying to say is the movie industry is going, hey, we just needed one Avengers to make to pay our bills. So we're gonna have one movie once a year to we're gonna put all of our money, creative, everything. Because we even talked about Sony lucking out because they're basically doing their track record was so poor before Venom, and then they got lucky with Venom. They actually made some money to cover their losses for the past 6 years. So I'm saying is the movie industry is going, hey, we need to bank on 1 or 2 movies instead of let's just make some good movies and just see what works.
Well, there's definitely less of a willingness to experiment. Like they're only gonna put out sure hits, which you've said before.
Is there less movies being released to theaters now? Like, are a lot of the
No.
small releases? Are they just going straight to
No,
the streaming stuff?
I think it's still around about this.
Well, what I would be curious to see is the kids market, because I feel like some parts of the movie industry too is filled with sequels. So for kids movies, we're talking about that one Disney movie that's going to be banking on $25 million budget. If it does horrible, Disney's like, no, we're only going to do $200 million budget, and see how that works.
Yeah, but they can have an endless amount of stuff to reboot and remake and.
Well, that's what I'm
make
saying.
Live
Like,
action.
I'm curious to see how the box office does with kids movies, because you're always going to have that one person who'll see every version of The Lion King. But when they make, Wrinkle in Time, try to make that successful, there was nothing they could do. That movie sucked. So I wonder
But that's not because people aren't willing to go watch it. That's because it just
it
looks
sucked.
It was
awful.
Oprah in that field with her witch sisters
Exactly,
or whatever.
yeah,
that's
Well, that's what I was trying to say.
You
is
can't do that. She
you
can't act anymore because you know it's Oprah. You know it's Oprah. You never get it out of your head. You think you're watching Oprah. It doesn't matter what
Well,
character she is.
First off, that's a lie because Tom Cruise and The Rock are both making wonderful movies, and they are.
yeah, but they're not Oprah.
yeah, they're better than Oprah.
You don't forget that this is Oprah.
You forget it's The Rock when you're watching.
Oh yeah,
Hobbs and Shaw.
when he doesn't have a leg. I told you that's why they wrote him not have a leg,
Yeah,
because
there you
everyone
go.
could oh, he's different.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I was saying. Kids movies really have an interesting impact on the film or on the movie industry, because you can't apply that rule. Oh, they didn't make enough money opening weekend, because that movie. How long do you think Lego 2 will be at your theater?
I mean, we should have it for a couple months, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's above average, right? For
I
a
mean,
movie-
depending. I mean, mine's gonna be different because we got the half of it shut down, so it may not be 2 months.
Okay.
But yeah, I
you
would say
understand
in
what I'm
a
talking
normal
about?
theater, yeah.
Because most say when let's say an Oscar similar movie that was a big dud. Let's say Gone Baby or whatever that movie was. How long was that in theaters for?
Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. A while because I think it was a surprise hit.
that was like 10 years ago.
Well, I'm
How was he
saying-
supposed to remember?
Well, I
No,
meant a movie like
Gone
that.
Baby Gone? The one with Casey Affleck?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was. What's the one where it's a Ben Affleck?
Oh, Gone Girl?
Yes, that's what I thought you
Well,
meant.
I mean
Maybe
that movie,
that might have been what he meant, honestly.
No, I meant just a movie that's not a kids movie that has a high profile actors in it. But those are run for what, 4 to 6 weeks?
It all depends on attendance.
Depends on success, man. Yeah, the good movies stay, the bad movies go. If a movie made $50 million a weekend, it'd stay in theaters until the end of time, right?
Oh boy, I tell you, what was the one we had?
Boy, howdy, I tell you.
The Passion of the Christ. I remember that movie was in the theaters forever.
Yeah.
It was like seriously half a year. I think it was in the theaters.
There
And
was
then
something.
Think about the poor guy who had to change the reels. He had to watch Christ get crucified like 1,000 times. a month.
Hotel-
Happy Death Day 3. Jesus Christ.
Oh no, Hotel Transylvania 3. We actually still had that movie when it came out streaming.
So it was for a long time.
Yeah.
Well,
All right,
so
well, let's-
there it is. There's another example of a kids movie going like, hey,
I'm not sure I fully understand your point that movies aren't doing as well.
you know, I'm saying the talent to make good movies are shifting. People in the industry are moving to do more Netflix, more other things. And so basically, by 3 years from now, the movies in the movie industry, 30% of the movies will be good. The rest will just be filler.
Well, you're never going to run out of creative people. You're never going to run out of people that want to make movies.
Well, yeah.
In Hollywood and get them in the theaters, just because the current crop is maybe skewing towards that. And it's probably because the studios are so involved on that. And maybe at Netflix, they're not as involved in the creative
Well, that's why all their
process.
movies are average.
Yeah.
I will say that I do feel like celebrities, like movie stars, aren't what they used to be at the same level.
No, there's no movie star. Maybe Tom Cruise.
There's a few. I mean, there's a couple, like again, The Rock, Tom Cruise, guys like that. There's a few of those guys who stick around. But now the stars are like influencers. You know, like that's who people like. Everyone knows Kardashian. Everyone knows people like that. And it's just
Remember when they Paris Hilton was a seller?
which was a what?
Like for like there was like 3 years where it goes and Paris Hilton.
Yeah, she was in House of Wax.
Yeah, like I remember they were trying even their like direct to DVD movies, you know, like Van Wilder 9, and it's like with Paris Hilton. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I wonder how much this woman gets paid just to have her name printed on stuff.
Oh.
Because now she's a billionaire, from what I understand, from her cosmetic line.
Or her dad owns the Hilton Hotel.
Well, I mean, her like she herself makes this money because of her. She's like,
There was that movie I talked about on Netflix called like The American Meme or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, they're trying to make it seem like she's like the greatest thing that's ever happened in that, and she's some genius business tycoon. Anyways, all right, let's move on. We've
Isn't
got.
Kylie Jenner the richest woman in the world right now?
I think
no,
so.
I think it's the Amazon.
Oh yeah, the wife. The wife, yeah.
That's who I
she
think
gets
is-
half.
Yeah.
So she's worth about $50 billion now. She became like the 5th richest person in the world with that.
Do you think Stanley Tucci could play Jeff Bezos?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, they look the same.
He can play anything.
I think if they made
The
a
Tooch?
biopic of him, he just should be bald from young age all the way. That would be great.
Very Lex Luthor-y.
There's no pictures of him with hair. So
Well, we
What's that
haven't
called,
seen, we haven't
alopecia?
seen the
Is that
nude-
what that's called?
Hey, we haven't seen the nudes though that he's being blackmailed.
There
with,
could be
so
hair
there
in
could
that.
be.
real bald.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the dude from Arrested Development, Stan Sitwell. He's got fake eyebrows.
I thought you were going with the bathroom scene where you take a picture of those mountains.
Oh no.
Remember that scene?
All right, we've got a trailer. So part of movie news, we're going to start trying to incorporate every now and then a trailer of what's coming out. We've done this the last couple weeks. There's a movie coming out this weekend. We've already talked about Alita on here, and so we didn't want to do that, which is also coming out this weekend. But Fighting with My Family. And so we're going to play the trailer, and we'll kind of talk about it and talk a little bit about the movie. So
All right, I'm pulling it up.
pulling it up, baby.
Relax. Everyone just relax.
Fighting with My Family, director Stephen Merchant.
All right.
Yes, big
Yeah.
fan of it.
I'm watching that. Give me the remote. No, it's off.
Zach, what the bloody hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, I got to put it on the deal.
You really
No,
want
no.
to choke her out in a lot of fingers?
Yeah.
Now pull it tight. Oh, yeah. Now she's in trouble.
Oh wait, I know you. You're from that weird family, aren't you?
So she's
We're
the
not
real
weird.
wrestler.
We don't like wrestling.
How do you
Oh,
know
is she
if
an
you've
actual
never
wrestler?
been?
I
I've
think
never
she
had
is.
rectal bleeding before, but I'm pretty sure I'm not a fan of that.
How about I shove her head up your ass and then we can find out?
Head up my what?
My name is Hutch Morgan. I'm calling from WWE.
Vince
this
Vaughn
the
has the
red-
most recognizable voice.
Like
Is
most
this the
of you
red
come
band?
try out for us.
Probably. Yeah, sure.
It's all fake anyway, isn't it?
What?
You gotta love Nick Frost, right?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Sorry about that.
It's The Rock.
We're huge fans.
Thank you so much.
What advice would you give us? We want to be the next you.
What are your names again?
My name.
It doesn't matter what your names are. You walk around here interrupting the Rock, you like you haven't seen the sun in 20 years. You like you just stepped out of Oliver Twist. Please, sir, may I have some more advice, sir? You want some advice? Here's the Rock's advice. Shut your mouth.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Got it.
Oh, I love The
Good
Rock.
morning, wrestling nerds. Well, this is where we see whether or not you get to go on to WWE.
This is our shot, Zach.
I know.
Why do you want to wrestle?
I'm the toughest bastard in any room. Probably shouldn't swear, not when there's ladies present. Sorry, miss. Sorry about that.
Burn, it was a guy. He was talking to a
Call
guy.
your name. That means you'll be coming with me to Florida.
Chris is gonna see this just for the
Paige.
beach wrestling scenes.
Thank you all very much.
You have to take my brother. No one deserves this more than Zach.
I wish you the best, son, but this is the end of the line for you.
Do you know what it's like to want one thing in life, and then your own sister takes it away from you?
Oh,
It was my dream too.
I like how Vince Vaughn, he doesn't even act. He just like kind of talks with a squinted face.
And this is a true story.
Oh, it is.
Doing it for the family.
I believe it is.
Well, let's see if it tells us.
Good music.
Yeah.
Paige, I myself have come from a wrestling family too. I know exactly what it means to you. But don't worry about being the next me. Be the first you.
Sounded by
What?
It's Dwayne Johnson. How are you?
Prove it.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Yeah, and I'm Vin Diesel, mate.
I'm sorry.
It did not say true story.
Oh yeah. Hey, this is
Film Select.
we got this trailer from Film Select. In case y'all are wondering.
They're gonna get hit for that transgender joke.
Which, oh, the
You can't
oh,
do those things these
Can you,
days.
can you look it up? Is it a true story?
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
Because I thought Paige was
Why did we watch that?
a wrestler.
Like, why is
girl.
this-
Because it's coming out.
That doesn't look interesting at all.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks
Well,
good.
well, let's talk about it. We're getting some movie talk here, Dick.
Well-
It's coming out this weekend.
All right. So when I was watching that, I thought they were gonna be more of a comedy kind of thing. No,
Well,
not so much.
There was attempted comedy.
But then it got you gotta achieve your
Well,
dreams with the Rock.
it's got to have that moment. It's based
So-
on a 2012
the
documentary.
only way this movie's good is the brother kills himself. That's the
Ouch.
only way that movie's gonna be
Whoa.
good.
Ouch. This is based on a true story of
I'm just
wrestler
kidding.
Paige.
And she is in the movie. That's her.
I'm kidding.
That's really her.
No, but she is in it. But that's
And
not
she's-
her.
So she's British. I'm not aware of any British wrestlers.
I'm not aware of any wrestlers.
You know what's surprising to me though? This world has so many fans of the WWE. I can see this movie doing all right.
Oh, I think it will.
And
yeah.
as long as it stays true to what those kind of people like, because I don't really know what people like in the world. I used to watch wrestling when I was probably 10,
I did too.
but then all of a sudden I think I hit that age where I was like, I don't really care anymore.
She was
So,
born in
I'm
San.
curious
or no.
how they keep people going because they're pretty popular today, right?
What are we talking
Wrestling?
about?
Wrestling,
Sorry, I zoned
like
out.
WWE, like it's really popular
Oh,
today.
yeah.
I think so. She was born in Norfolk, England, but now she lives in San Antonio, Texas. We gotta get her on the show. Paige.
Yeah.
Paige. Her name is Saraya Jade Beavis.
That's what she looks like.
Yeah. What do you think?
What was that? All? That's awkward.
I don't know. I wasn't expecting.
That was a little awkward right there, but
I don't,
that is
I
what she
wasn't
looks like.
expecting that.
Yeah. So maybe we could tweet at her or something.
So this movie, what makes you want to go see it?
Nothing.
That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. I was
but
like,
I'll tell you what makes me want to go see it. Stephen Merchant, incredibly funny guy. You know, from
well, yeah,
the
he's going to
Brit-
be in the movie
British
for
office.
10 minutes.
He's showing me.
I think
photos.
Vince Vaughn's going to be in the movie longer than he is.
Then who? The
Yeah,
Rock?
And then
No,
Nick,
Stephen Merchant.
And then
Oh,
the
probably
guy
so.
from Shaun of the Dead, Nick what? Nick something. The guy.
The guy. What I love about Tim Frost is he's like 400 pounds. Like most actors like try to stay in like really good shape and everything like that. He's just like, you know what? I'm getting fat. I don't care. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm answering the phone when The Rock calls. Like, does he have any scenes not in the house? Right? Does he have any scenes where he's not just like sitting on the recliner or at the table or anything else like that?
You know what? I will say this about this movie.
Say it.
It is original.
That is
Yeah.
true. Well, it's not. It's based on a true thing that happened.
Well,
I mean, it's still a different.
Oh, hey, right here on the poster, it does say based on a true story. So there we go.
Okay, there we go.
My problem with movies like this is that they do PG-13 so that they can be like family friendly and have that like, but I just feel like if this family was in real life, it would not be a PG-13. Like the scenes of the family at their house would not be a PG-13 thing. Like they'd be like the cursing would probably be off the charts. I mean, the kind of family where everyone is in love with pro wrestling and they're from like England and all they do is probably like sit around and smoke cigarettes and watch wrestling.
That is something. Is there a big following for wrestling?
Well,
in England?
that's why I was trying to.
don't
I
know.
don't really know that many people who are into wrestling, but I know there's a lot of podcasts and commentary about it. So there's at least people who are paying attention to it. Maybe not necessarily the actual wrestling part, but like the news and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm sure that this movie is an attempt to see if that audience is enough to carry the financial side of a movie. Like, are wrestling fans going to show up to this movie? My guess would be yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, WWE is a production producer,
And I'm sure that it's sprinkled with famous wrestlers, like
Oh, yeah.
all throughout, like all the stunt casting. I mean, The Rock himself, but then beyond that, probably whoever's hot. I don't know anything about wrestling, but whoever's
Brutus the Barber Beefcake, is he still do stuff?
was that from like the 80s?
Well, if you're looking at
Nature Boy.
I'm not really seeing anybody.
Yokozuna?
The Big Show's on in there.
Really?
I see that. I'm just
He
looking.
still does stuff?
I'm looking at the.
He was right at the end of when I was becoming unaware of things.
Well,
I watched
Stone
wrestling for like
Cold
2 months.
Steve
one thing that is going to
Yeah.
be interesting about this movie is you finally get exposed to how they handle before they're famous wrestlers. Because I know the UFC really kicked off when they started doing that Ultimate Fighter show, where people who are really into MMA finally got a content thing that they could watch and follow, where they're not actually in the octagon on the card. They get to see these people fight day in day out and train. So now we finally get to see some. What was the last wrestling movie that you can think of? I mean, there was that Ready to Rumble movie with Arquette and what's his name, but that was like
Was
what?
that with Kevin James?
And then he took that way too seriously, didn't he? Now he
He's
really
a real,
does it.
he's a
Yeah.
real, they're real into it. No, the Kevin James one was a UFC movie,
Oh, that's right.
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember
Wait, David Arquette does wrestling now?
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's been on the mic. Same thing with our president.
Gosh, that's terrible.
He's into that stuff too.
Have you seen? This is off topic. Have you seen the videos when Trump was on
Yeah.
WWE? Oh my gosh, those are so
I
funny.
need to watch those. I have not
Oh
seen
my
them.
gosh, so funny.
It's surreal that
He's body slamming people.
Oh, my
it's
goodness.
awesome.
Yeah,
It is
Mr.
awesome.
President.
Yeah, you can stop. Take a pause in the podcast.
All right. So now
Go
that
watch
this
those.
movie comes out this weekend,
It does.
so how much money do you think it's gonna make?
I'm gonna say $20 million.
I think that is fair.
Nice. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, you're my yes man
Yeah,
over here.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna break 40.
All right, so we've lost touch with the Burris. We don't know the Burris anymore.
We know of him.
Is he
No,
is
yeah,
he local?
We know him. Yeah.
Is he local
He's
still?
not. He's no longer local. No.
Freaking Burris. Okay, well we should have. It'd be fun to bring him back in, but if you're out there somewhere, Burris, I don't remember your first name. Please come here. And what? Tim? Jake? Justin Burris. That's right. But he's the expert, the guy we need to talk to about that. All right, we need to probably go to break. We have rambled this first segment into the ground, I think. When we come back, we're going to be rewinding. I saw MacGruber. What'd y'all watch?
What Men Want.
Oh, with the sangria in hand. Chris watched What Men Want. Dick, what about you?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
On Netflix streaming.
Yeah. Did you talk about that last time, or did you say you were going to watch it?
I was going to watch that.
All right, perfect. And then later in the show,
we
we're
try
going
to promote what we're going to be doing next week. I know you don't realize that we do
okay.
these
Give me a
things
break. Yeah.
until the day of. Oh, I got to watch a movie, guys.
Yeah, for like the first 90 shows, and maybe until this week, Dick either wouldn't come with a movie or wouldn't do the one he said, but now he's all on his high horse over here.
Well, I'm trying to be a better host.
I know, I appreciate it. New Year's resolution. Okay, and then we're going to do
Sure.
top 3 love stories later on the show. We're going to go to break. We will be right back on the Ticket Stub.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question, comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station on irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
Hey Stubbies, Dick here with the Ticket Stub. I just want to remind you guys is our group rewind. That's right, this month for February, a perfect Valentine's movie we're doing is called The Killer. Yeah, it's the John Woo 1989 world acclaimed show we're going to be doing on the 28th. We invite you to check it out. Unfortunately, we couldn't really find anywhere to stream it or anything like that, so you have to go buy it like we did. This movie, from what I understood, it inspired a lot of action scenes and also movies and things like that. And it's a 1989 The Killer. So I got it on Blu-ray for like $7 on Amazon. So feel free to go check it out that way. And so don't forget, our group rewind is The Killer, and then we'll be drawing the group rewind for next month on the 28th. So see you then.
Let's begin, pal.
We're back on the Ticket Stub. If you missed this last segment, we talked about the Aquaman spinoff. We talked about Lego Movie 2 and how it hasn't quite lived up to the hype. And then we did a trailer breakdown for Fighting With My Family, the wrestling movie that's coming out this weekend. This is our show that's premiering on Valentine's Day. Are we going to go talk about all this stuff again?
No, I was reading more about that movie.
Which one, Fighting?
Yeah, Fighting With My Family. The lady who it's based off, she retired at 25.
Oh, so she's retired.
So I don't really know.
Well, at that point, a girl's washed up, isn't she? About 25.
I don't know how wrestling works. That's a horrible joke.
Sexism.
But no, I mean, what do you think about that though? Like, why this story must be remarkable. Like,
Well, it's very physical.
I now feel like the brother. Something happens to the brother.
Oh.
Because why else would they make a story about a person who retired at 25?
Well, maybe that's like maybe if you're, I think with wrestling, like I know it's fake, but there is a physical toll it takes on you. Maybe she hurt her back or something like that. I hope.
No, she did. That's what she legitimately did. That's what I was reading the movie notes, and they even made notes about her dating life. So I guess she dated high profile people. That's what made her.
Oh, really?
They said a bunch of names I didn't recognize.
Paige, probably wrestlers. All right, well now we're gonna do the rewinds. This is where we talk about the movies that we have seen over the last week. So, Chris, you saw.
I saw What Men Want.
Ooh, no, who is this starring? Is this Taraji?
Taraji P. Henson.
So somehow she came out of nowhere and now she has to be in like every 5th movie, Taraji.
I guess.
I feel like she's been in a lot of stuff lately, hasn't she?
I don't know.
People like her. People really.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah. I do.
Okay, well, tell us about it.
Well, What Men Want, 47% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the plot is it's inspired by the Nancy Meyers hit comedy What Men Want with Mel Gibson.
Which
or What Women Want.
Was that from like the year 2000?
I believe so, yeah. Great film.
That's when Helen Hunt still acted.
Yes. And this film is the story of a female sports agent played by Taraji P. Henson.
Was he a sports agent in that movie?
He was an ad man.
An ad guy. Mad Men. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. She's been constantly boxed out of by her male colleagues, but she gains the power to hear men's thoughts, so she's able to shift the paradigm to her advantage as she races to sign the NBA's next superstar. They wrote paradigm in this synopsis. Not a lot of people know what that word is, including me.
You don't know paradigm?
No,
that's a paradigm.
I say it a lot.
Oh wait, paradox, paradigm.
I say it a lot, but I don't know what it means.
Okay, no. Remind me of this. I think like 50 shows ago, we were talking about this movie, like a long time ago.
We were.
And I remember that the joke was that if it was What Men Want, it would just be like a dial tone, or it would be like silence and stuff. I guess they didn't go that route.
They didn't go that route.
Or is it just sex?
No.
Okay.
No, so it's not realistic at all.
It's like hot wings, hot wings, hot wings.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's Taraji P. Henson, Tracy Morgan's
pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that.
I love Tracy Morgan. He's in this. It's directed by Adam Shankman, who did the Step Up movies. And he was on that show, So You Think You Can Dance.
Was there some good dance scenes in this?
There are dance scenes. A little bit.
Okay. I was joking.
But anyway.
I can't believe you saw this.
Here we go. No. Okay. All right. Rapid fire.
Hit me.
Rapid fire.
Rapid.
Rachel Wagner from 54DisneyReviews.com. We get a gender swap with Henson in the Gibson role. Unfortunately, the filmmakers couldn't swap my feelings for the film into enjoying this new version. Boom. Emily Yoshida from New York Magazine. What Men Want is a wildly uneven stretch of a movie that's far more flail than a romp. You know, I should actually read these before I read them on the air.
Yeah.
Okay. And the final one, Johnny Olensniksy.
Oh, John. We all know John.
Johnny from the New York Post. Shankman was free to be creative and even a tiny bit profound, but instead of smarts, we get farts.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that's really good. At some point, does Taraji P. Henson go on like a racist Nazi rant onto someone's voicemail, or
no? There is nothing about. Okay,
did she really do that?
No, that was Mel.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, wasn't that Mel Gibson? Didn't he like call some?
His ex girl wife.
Ex-wife.
Are you talking about real life?
Yeah.
Not in the movie.
No.
Okay. I was like, man, I missed that part.
Real life.
Yeah, you didn't see that in the movie.
One question I got for you, Chris.
Thanks for going along with my joke, by the way. I'm trying to.
Well, I don't like talking about those things.
Okay.
Well, one question I have for you: there was a big push on the Red Band trailer of the show, and I was like, so are they gonna? How raunchy does this movie go?
I think.
How low does it go?
It doesn't go like that low, but it's yeah. I mean, there's a few things. I don't think they really necessarily needed to go that route.
Is there any nudity in it?
There's not. It didn't need to be R-rated.
Could this be on our top 3 love stories?
No.
Okay.
It didn't need to be R-rated. They could have taken out all the jokes.
Well, because I mean,
that were inappropriate.
As like a writing a script for a premise, there's so many opportunities with this premise. And
there is.
And
I
so
think they were kind of going out of their way to not really copy the first movie. But the script is really middle of the road. Like anybody could have played this. any race of person could have
Well,
played this.
let's look at What Women Want. Why was that a successful movie? And I think one answer is the supporting cast, because of all the actors. Like what's her name, Tamia, or who plays Peter Parker's aunt in the new movies?
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, she's in it for like.
Oh, does he like kind of hook up with her?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
I mean, I literally haven't seen that movie in probably 15 years.
It's a fantastic movie. That movie's a hit is because Mel Gibson is fantastic at comedy.
Yeah.
And Helen Hunt was hot at the time, and that's why the movie worked. But it is a great movie. It
so
literally
sexist.
is.
You're such a pig. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I didn't know. Like they have.
He's a fantastic actor, and she's hot. Yeah, wow, reduction.
Alan Alda.
Excuse me, no, let me clear that up.
Oh.
I mean hot as in a hot commodity, as in she was making a lot.
Oh, so it's all about what her commodity is. It's all about her value as an object you can trade around.
I wasn't talking about her.
Look at this cast list. Look at this.
Oh, so you don't think
ready?
she's hot?
So we got Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt, Marisa Tomei, Alan Alda, Lauren Hawley, and then we have Judy Greer, Sarah Paulson, Leslie Edelstein from House. Lisa, sorry. And then there's a bunch of other people too. So I mean, it had a really good supporting cast for that. So who were in this movie besides the main actress? What's her name?
Taraji P. Henson.
Okay, so who plays the boy?
The boy.
Who plays that boy toy?
Who she's interested in?
I have no idea.
Here, let me click it on IMDb.
There's not a lot of big actors in it at all.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan's the biggest actor.
He plays the boy then.
No, he's the dad of the big basketball player that he's
I
trying to sign.
wish Tracy Morgan was the love interest in this movie. That would have made it so much better.
Man, he is so.
There's a guy named.
Funny.
There's a
Yeah, he's
guy
funny.
on the list is billed as Captain F-tastic.
Yes, that is correct.
the
I'm
F
just-
word.
I'm just-
Captain
yeah,
F word
I'm just
task.
looking at it right
that
here.
is her neighbor who she has the hots for, and once she can read his mind, she tries to get with him. But there's something the hilarity ensues, and it doesn't happen.
Things are crazy.
But anyway,
Dude, Richard Roundtree's in this movie?
he is. He plays her dad. Yeah,
That's cool.
actually,
He's
I thought,
good.
I thought that was Ben Vereen. I'm glad you cleared that up for me.
I'm just looking at. I mean, I'm trying.
Who's Richard Roundtree?
He's Shaft, dude.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm not like up on.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah, Shaft. Which they're remaking that, by the way, too.
Yeah, so why?
Again?
Why didn't we watch that trailer?
I thought about it. It was between that and the wrestling.
Oh, and this crappy movie you wanted us to watch about wrestling.
Was the Shaft one good? I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's a sequel. It's not a remake.
Okay, back to my rewind.
Sorry, go
All
ahead.
right, sorry.
All right. Anyway, I liked this movie.
Shut your mouth.
I did like it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was.
Sangria helped.
I wasn't drinking,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
kidding.
liked it.
Maybe
Is
you
it as
should've
good
been.
as the Mel
Well,
Gibson one? Certainly not. But
It's 3.7 on IMDb right now. I'm just letting you know.
it's 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't get that. I think she's incredibly funny.
Oh, she's a talented actress.
She did a great job in this film, and she carries the film. I mean, there's no really help from the supporting cast other than Tracy Morgan.
You wouldn't say they didn't sell you what you thought you were getting into. Like it wasn't like a wild card. It wasn't a
No.
twist. It was just kind of like, I know exactly what this movie's going to be.
The
I'm going to relax.
wild card for me, and I hope this isn't. I hope I say this correctly. The whole cast pretty much is African American, and there is not one mention of anything to do with race or anything like that. Like nothing. Like it could have been anybody. You could have had any cast or anything. There's nothing that would be.
Which you'd think they would involve because of you're inside
Right.
of men's heads.
And they do not at all. It's
'Cause
nothing.
that's kind
like
of a
that.
running joke, like big booties and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was
African American
nothing really like that at all. So it's really well written. I thought. I really thought it was.
What men want? I'm certain that I'll never see it, but I'm glad that you enjoyed
You
it.
should. You and Lindsay should watch it.
Yeah, we probably won't, but I appreciate the great review.
I'll watch it.
All right, well, there we go.
I won't pay money to go
It's
watch
a good
it.
movie.
All right,
but-
Dick, what do you watch?
Man, I watched a movie I've been really looking forward to seeing. 2018 Ant-Man and the Wasp. It is
Evangeline.
It is a runtime of an hour and 58 minutes. It's available on Netflix right now, streaming. So if you're a subscriber to that, you can watch Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's a sequel to the 2015 movie Ant-Man, starring the same cast pretty much. We got Paul Rudd back as Scott Lang and Evangeline Lilly as Hope Van Dyne. And then, of course, newcomer, which I was very excited for, is Michelle Pfeiffer, plays her mother.
I didn't know she was in.
Yeah, she's in this movie. Lawrence Fishburne's in the movie. Michael Douglas, T.I., Judy Greer.
They let him out of
Michael
prison
Pena.
to film this movie for a short period of time.
Well, what's funny is his supporting role, along with the other guy. There's three best friends of Paul Rudd. and they run the security company together. They're really funny in this movie, and I was kind of surprised they didn't really involve them more because I don't know if y'all see these two movies at all.
I saw the original one, and for some reason, and maybe you can help me understand, why did I not want to see this one? Like, what was it that just?
Well, the problem with this one, I think this one came after the Avengers.
Because I really liked Ant-Man. It was really
this
good.
movie, so without comparing it with the Marvel universe, I enjoyed this movie. It's a very easygoing superhero movie. It's funny and it's easy to follow. The only thing that was really weak in this movie, there really wasn't a villain, like a true superhero villain. Of course, there was the anti-hero kind of plot with one of the girls who was affected by the technology that Pym made. So she's going after him because her father died because of, one of those kind of things. But she's misunderstood. So she really isn't a threat throughout the whole movie. You think they would wait till the very end to find out, oh, she's not really trying to kill us. But you find out halfway through the movie, which is a little disappointing to me because there really wasn't. The only bad guy in it was the guy from Justified, which what's his name? I forget his name.
Oh, Walter Goggins.
Yeah, he's the main bad guy. And he's a wimp. He's just a corrupt dude. That's it. There wasn't like a cool thing where he injected himself with something and became a real threat or anything like that. The special effects were a lot of fun, I will say. They're very creative with it. Things grow big, things grow small. It's really cool. And again, I think why this movie suffered was it was bumped up against the Avengers, and people are so. And this is, I think, a lot of people are going to start noticing this with superhero movies. Is it's really hard to make a fun movie when you have Superman who can fly and blow up things and basically lift a planet above his head, and then you have this movie, the Ant-Man, where the guy just gets really small
And big.
And big, but it's not as like engaging, I guess, in a sense for the world audience to pay attention to. This is a well-written movie. It's directed by Peyton Reed, who has done past movies like Ant-Man, Bring It On, Break Up, some Yes Man, and movies like that. Like he's not a big Fast and the Furious director or anything like that. But I think he did a great job. I would definitely watch this movie. You're a fan of superhero movies. It's very easy. Don't judge this movie based off the Avengers. And I think this is also something that sucks for those who are huge fans of the current Marvel universe is, they always have the end credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
There's an end credit scene here, but then when you see the trailer for, the new Avengers coming out, you're like, oh, well, clearly they resolve it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of sucks if you're trying to pay attention and then like you miss a couple movies and you watch this, you get kind of lost of like, where are we right now, guys? Like, when's this movie taking place?
The post-credit scenes never make sense to me on the event. Like, you have to be really deep. I feel like you have to be deep in the weeds of like the Avengerverse to really understand what's going on in any of those.
Well, I think that's the struggle they have, kind of like with Captain Marvel coming out. I think that some people are going to struggle that's pre-Iron Man. But pre-Iron Man to me is like what, in real time, 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago? When did that first Iron Man came out?
Yeah, probably not even that long
And so
ago.
people are going to be like, what are they all talking about? I haven't seen that movie, especially kids who were like 12 when they saw Iron Man. Now they're, 20-something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be one of those things, for a writer, it's going to be really hard to grasp people's attention. But Ant-Man and the Wasp, they don't try to go above what it is, and I really like that. And I was kind of surprised there really wasn't a lot of cameos of other superheroes in this movie. They make a couple jokes, like how he knows Captain America and stuff, but yeah, they really didn't involve anyone else. So it's almost like they made this movie while they made Ant-Man because they didn't know how successful it was going to be. And they're like, hey, we got enough footage, we can actually make a movie. So,
all right.
But
cool.
your favorite actress she was good in it too.
Evangeline Lilly.
That's your favorite.
Not my favorite, but back when Lost came out, she was my hottest.
Gollum's your
their
favorite.
relationship's really funny and stuff like that. So I give it. I would really encourage people, especially if you have Netflix. It's not hard to watch. It's very entertaining, and you'll get through it without wanting to pause it.
That is such an endorsement.
You don't want to shut it off.
You will not have to pause this movie to finish it. Well, I saw a movie from 2010 called The Gruber.
I love them.
So what happened? I saw this in 2010 when it came out, and then I haven't seen it since. And I had a friend in a group chat that I'm a part of with some fantasy football buddies, and he randomly, that chat has been dead since fantasy football ended, and he randomly came on and started talking about how he just watched MacGruber for the first time and how it's like the greatest movie of all time. And he started like quoting all these scenes, and I thought, man, I haven't seen this in so long. So I went and I think I actually own it in DVD, but I'm like moving and my house is all like.
So how'd you see it?
I sure do.
So I rented it on YouTube.
Okay.
It was like $3. I think I owned like a hard copy, but I ended up just renting it because I never would have found it, and I don't have a DVD player right now. But it's so the plot of MacGruber from 2010, former special operative MacGruber is called back into action to take down his arch nemesis, Dieter von Kunth, who is in possession of a nuclear warhead and bent on destroying Washington, D.C. Now, this is like a ripoff of MacGyver and MacGruber. And they do a lot of the things about how he's trying to always build gadgets, but they don't really ever work. And, it's Will Forte. So for those that know him or familiar with him, you kind of know what you get. And it's written by Jorma Taccone, who's one of the Lonely Island guys. So this is far from serious as far as in any way, shape, or form. It's got Kristen Wiig is kind of Wig is the girl who kind of becomes the love interest. Vicky, Ryan Felipe, who I could use a little bit more Felipe in my life. I like him.
He hasn't done anything in a while.
No, I know.
Well, he's been, like I said, the talent is going to Netflix. And
What's he on?
He's been on the show, Shooter. They did Shooter in a TV series.
Okay, well, I don't watch that.
So he's been doing that.
He defected to Netflix.
So
Yeah, but
It's not that
Piper,
good.
Val Kilmer is Dieter von Kunth, and then Powers Booth is a colonel, and Maya Rudolph plays the ghost of MacGruber's wife, and there's some other people as well. This movie's 100% ridiculous. It's really good. It's really funny, and there are like probably 5 to 10 scenes that are just like make you laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Hard laughter. There's some love making in MacGruber that is beyond anything else you could probably imagine.
Yeah.
There's so
Those
many.
are right up there with the Team America love scene.
Yes, it's kind of similar to like different but the same is that. And the whole plot is totally ridiculous. His Val Kilmer. What I love is MacGruber. He doesn't like to use guns because you find out later it's because he doesn't know how and he's scared. But he does this whole big like stance, like what the action. I don't use guns. But his thing is throat ripping. And so for like the first 2/3 of the movie, he's like talking about, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna rip so many throats, and he never actually does. And then he finally, at one point, he does rip a throat, and he actually goes for the turkey, and he rips 3 throats at one point. And it's things like that. Anyways, this movie it's 100% ridiculous, but it's so funny. If you've never seen MacGruber, it's a hard R. I will say that it is a hard R. Sexual innuendo.
I always feel like these movies like this is why, if I'm a streaming service, buy this movie, because this is one of those few cult hit movies that people will watch them over and over and over and over.
This should definitely be on some streaming service. I think it's on like Max or something like that. Like, is that Cinemax? I guess. But I don't have that. But so you can rent it on Prime or whatever. But yeah, this is the kind of movie that should definitely be on Hulu or Netflix, because I could just see like anytime a couple of like buddies get together and like, oh, what movie should we put on? Like, you will never go wrong putting MacGruber on if it's like you and your guy friends. I'll say Valentine's Day, like date night.
Yeah,
maybe stay away.
Yeah,
maybe stay away from MacGruber. Probably not the right moment. Yeah, there. But gosh, it's so freaking funny. And anyway, the greatest scene. It's early on. They call him back, and he's like, "I've given up that life." And they finally come back to get the mission. And so he spends like a 5-minute scene assembling his team, his crack team. And then they all blow up and die, like instantly. Like, it's one of the first things in the movie.
Similar to Deadpool 2?
Yeah, kind of like
Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I wonder if Deadpool kind of like, saw that and took it, or if they had it on their own.
I will, the writers of it are the same writers from Saturday Night Live and everything. So probably what I think adds a lot to this movie is they already have written MacGruber in so many scenes. They know how to make this character really hit the good laughs.
That's true.
What hasn't happened in a while, because Saturday Night Live used to be a vehicle for films.
Well, that's what this is.
And right, exactly, but that's not the case lately.
No, it's probably because of the political stances they've been doing. They haven't really focused on creating like the church lady and like interesting.
Yeah, they're not doing
characters.
characters.
Never stopping. That was the last
Popstar was.
Yeah,
good.
Popstar. I think that was the last.
But that wasn't that wasn't part of the Saturday Night Live.
That's true. He was never a character.
I thought it was.
No, his character.
Yeah, I see what you're
named
saying.
Connor, by the way. His character's name is Connor for real.
Yeah.
And so his pop name is Connor for real. And so, that movie
was good too.
I love Popstar, and the soundtrack is so good of Popstar. Like legit songs that if it was just playing in the background, you'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of a jam," and then you realize that it's talking about
it's not.
how the Mona Lisa sucks. Yeah. MacGruber, check it out. Really funny. Definitely something to watch. All right, we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna do our top 3 love stories, because it's Valentine's Day and we are feeling the love. Feeling the love. So stick with us here on the Ticket Stub.
Hey, Stubbies. This is Dick again, or the first time you heard me, whatever. I just want to let you know we changed the way we do our ticket giveaway because we wanted to open up everyone who listens to our show through YouTube, Facebook Live, our podcast, and all that kind of stuff. So what we're doing now is we have an unlimited entry one time. All you got to do is just message us on our social media or our email at theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com saying you want to be entered into the ticket giveaway to the Grand and Amstar pair ticket giveaway. And once you do that, we'll be drawing your name or names every show, and we'll make the announcement either on the show or on our social media. And if you aren't a winner that day, your name's going to remain in the movie cup, and then the movie cup for next week we'll keep drawing. And if you are a winner, you'll be taken out of the cup for the rest of the month, and then reapplied at the very beginning of the month. So if you win, for example, on the 28th of February 2019, you'll be back in for the 7th drawing of March. So that's how we're going to be doing it from now on. So again, if you want to win 2 tickets to any Amstar or the Grand Theater, all you have to do is just message us saying you want to be put into the drawing, and make sure we give us your name and the way that we can contact you if you win, and then you'll be in the drawing. That's how we're doing our ticket giveaway from now on. So thanks for being a devoted stubby, and we always try to give free things away as much as possible. So we're going to get back to the show. We'll be back.
We're back on the ticket stub. If you missed this last segment, we talked about the rewinds from last week, including MacGruber, What Women Want, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. All 3 of them, I think, got positive reviews. That doesn't happen every single week.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny that since it's Valentine's Day, I wouldn't necessarily say Ant-Man and the Wasp is a really good Valentine's movie.
What Women Want might be. Is that a good couples movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. Yeah. MacGruber is the opposite.
Well, I
of
think
that.
that's kind of funny. Like, it's like Ant-Man and the Wasp seems like it should be.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
well, the Wasp and the Ant-Man are together.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, they are.
It
Yeah.
is a superhero movie, though.
But it's just they didn't make anything really romantic in it. There really wasn't. It was just kind of like, I like you, you like me. Let's respect each other. Yay.
Let's just respect each other. Let's have mutual respect for each other and
Yeah.
not be in a dominating relationship. We're going to do top 3 love stories. So this could be love scenes if you'd like for it to be, Chris. But really looking at the arc of the whole story. And this is in honor of the season of love and Valentine's Day and how much I love you guys. And actually, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about that. My love. I'm just kidding.
That's why we watched that MacGruber scene in the break.
Everyone's doing that these days.
Oh, goodness. So top 3 love stories. We're going to go 3 to 1. We do top 3 with all sorts of different topics, but today's love stories. So we'll all do our 3, then
let's let our audience let us know their top 3.
Yeah, please tweet at us at _ticket stub or send us a Facebook post with whatever your top 3 would be, or even your top 1. If you just say, hey, screw 3, this is the one that I love the most out of everything. Here we go, and send it to us. That way we can be a part of the show, and maybe we'll shout it out if you do it in the next 15 minutes right now. Although, wait, no, this is a recording, so never mind. We don't do it live anymore. But we'll talk about it on the next show if you want to do that to us. Top 3, starting with 3, going to 1. Chris, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Superman Returns.
Okay.
That's the Brandon Routh one with with that lady there.
Kate Bosworth.
Kate Bosworth, yes. Yeah, I thought that was a really good love story there. And
is that the one where the bullet hits his eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see in the part where you find out that her kid is actually his kid and stuff like that. I mean, it's really, really cool, like the way they do that. And it was neat that, it just takes place after the second Superman movie, I think.
I think so.
Is what they said. So yeah, it was neat watching the dynamic of him coming back from wherever he was and getting back in love. But the fact that she was already in another relationship, so it's kind of like
I always felt in Superman they never really poked fun at the relationship when she didn't know he was Superman. So she basically had 2 relationships with the same guy. But she didn't. And I always felt it was kind of funny because the way you apply your relationships, people are like, oh, it's my work relationship with Clark Kent. I never really thought of him as, a sexual partner. And then when he exposes himself as Superman, look at this guy. But you're talking about, like, imagine that scenario. It's like, oh, I'm Superman and I'm Clark Kent. And I'd be really confused. I'd be like, well, I never thought of you as...
Meet me at the graveyard.
Yeah. Never thought he was a graveyard kind of person.
Until he
But-
exposed himself, and then
This is a great
now-
episode.
now she knows.
Yeah. So Superman Returns is a love story. I guess I
Yeah.
wouldn't consider it
Yeah.
that, but I guess it is.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, there we
Okay.
go. All right, Dick, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Robert Redford's The Natural.
Oh.
So I think it's a great story about love for a game, a love for
He didn't go, took it a little different way.
Yeah.
Loving the game.
love in the game. Well, then there is a love story in
That's
it.
right.
And
yeah.
I really
thought you were going to go that way, but then you started talking about his love for
Well,
the
I
game.
think there's a lot of love in this movie
Oh, you
and
need that.
sacrifices, and then especially with Glenn Close is really great in it. Even though she didn't play a major role, but the love of baseball is definitely in this movie, written all over it. Similar to like Field of Dreams and stuff like that. It's just the
That's
love
a
of the
great
game.
movie.
For the love of the game.
So, which is
the name
also
of
a
the
movie.
Yeah.
That's another movie.
My number 3, MacGruber. I couldn't help but go there. The love that he has for Vicky.
Nice.
The way that he overcomes the loss of his wife on his wedding day, which is what happens with Maya Rudolph's character. He overcomes all of that to find new love. And there's a lot of love to go around. MacGruber. I had actually the movie Love Actually on there, but I had to boot it off for the Groobs. So, anyways, MacGruber. Yeah, my number 3 love story. It's really beautiful. I kind of teared up at one point, actually. Chris, number 2.
Mine is Braveheart.
Oh, I love Braveheart. so
Yeah,
much.
it's such a great movie, and the love story dynamic is really good.
Yeah, it's kind of like 3 movies in one almost. And it actually used to come in like 3 different VHS tapes, which maybe one for each movie, but it's because it was too long.
Yeah.
But that first hour when it's him and Marin or whatever her name is, and they're giving that little ribbon back and forth to each other and stuff, and making love under the moonlight and things like that. That was sweet until they cut her throat up, and that was that was less
at
romantic.
the end when he's getting killed, he sees her in the crowd right before his head gets cut off.
Yeah, and he's still holding that little ribbon thing.
Yeah, but not after his head was cut off.
Well, at that point, I think he dropped it.
He dropped it.
I do
yeah,
think so. Yeah. But he yells freedom. Think about
Yeah.
he's laying on that table and they're just pulling his guts out.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'd tap out.
Just another Sunday night,
Yeah, I'd
Sunday
confess.
afternoon
That-
over there in the courtyard.
That creepy dude's like, "Do you confess?" or whatever, and he's just silent. I'd be like, "Yes, whatever you want."
The
Stop.
prison hall, which is supposed to be.
Your purification. All right, Braveheart. That's an actual good one. Dick, what about you?
All right, so the next top 2 choices, I kind of had 4 movies total, but you'll
Okay.
see it.
Okay.
So my number 2 is I really like the relationships in these 2 movies. The Painted Veil, the 2006 Painted Veil with Edward Norton and Naomi Watts, and then A Very Long Engagement, the 2004 movie, the French movie. I really like the way they kind of gave love as something that is almost like a living thing, and throughout the whole movie it changes, and especially in the Painted Veil where they don't like each other. He has a lot of spite for her because she cheated on him, but then throughout the whole journey of being in China and going through, he's a doctor, and it was really cool to see how she changed her feelings and he changed her feelings. He changed his feelings for her, she changed his feelings for him, but from 2 different perspectives. So I really like that, and so that's my number 2.
I never saw The Painted Veil. Looks kind of boring. Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, if you like that kind of stuff.
If you're into that kind of thing. All right, number 2 for me. This is a little bit of a recent pick. I have recency bias, I think, on all these kind of lists. The newer movies stick with me just because they're newer. But the movie La La Land, I love that movie a lot. It was really, really good. And
sucked.
I mean, it wasn't the best picture, I guess, but it was really good. And I don't know. I like Ryan Gosling a lot. I like musicals. I'm it's a little bit off brand for me because I don't seem like a musical guy, but I do like musicals. And I don't know. I just think that story was really good. And one of the things I liked about it was it had a realness to it, and I mean, it's been out for a while, I guess, but the way it ends, it's not like there's not this full resolution like some, it's like always we have to wrap it up with a bow, right? Well, this is a little bit less clean cut than that. I like when movies are not afraid to do that.
I think that's what I did not like it because they didn't end it like, because sometimes when you go see a movie, you want something grander than what day-to-day life gives you.
Yeah, that's true.
And I felt like this movie had this huge build-up where they're singing and dancing and going through all these wonderful experiences with one another. And then it just kind of ends like, oh, she's getting a coffee. And then that's it. Like, it's kind of like, what movie is that? The Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher at the very end.
Yeah.
They see each other all walking in New York. And I'm like, really? That's how we're going to end this movie? But if you've seen the director's cut version, he kills himself. So
does he? Okay.
Wow.
Oops,
So I was like, that's a real ending right there.
That's the ending. Yeah, I don't like for the movie to have everyday life unless they kill themselves. Then I'm all in. But I don't know. I appreciated the fact that the movie was like, you know what? We were in love. We had this important thing. We were a part of each other's lives. we didn't end up together, but you know, we had this journey together. We were important pieces. I don't know. I just thought it was true to life in a way that I really liked, and I think that the way it was so well made all throughout as well. But I really like the story with those two. So number ones, here we go.
Number one for me, What Dreams May Come.
Yeah.
I've said it on the show before. I challenge anybody to find a better love story than that, because Robin Williams' character, he gets hit by a car and he dies, and he goes to heaven, and his wife is so distraught that she commits suicide. Well, they think they're going to meet up in heaven, but she's a suicide, so she goes to hell, based on what you believe. So he has to go from heaven all the way down to hell to get her, with no guarantee that he's going to actually get to leave hell. And you think that he's going to get to stay there, but then obviously it all works out good. But it's just such an amazing journey. How you got to love somebody, a lot to do that, I would think.
Yeah, I have not seen this movie either.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You should see it. It's pretty cool.
I mean,
is this a good Valentine's Day movie?
No.
No.
It's
No,
it's very depressing, but the payoff at the end is definitely worth it.
Yeah, they don't just see each other in a coffee shop, and that's the end.
Okay, so it's worse than that because they're both in hell.
It's a better movie.
They pretty much get
well, the whole theme of the movie is you make life what it is. So we're stuck in hell. That's perfect. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Let's have some fun while we're here.
Yeah.
If you love what you do and you're never working a day in your life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, my number ones are kind of from the perspective of I wish I saw more of these characters in the love aspect. The two movies that I saw that I would really love to see more was Jurassic Park, the original, with Grant and Ellie, their character, because you didn't really know in that movie if they were together or not.
Right.
Because there were major hints at it, but there wasn't like a full, they stare into each other's eyes and they make a kiss and all that kind of stuff. I really wish there was more to it. But they kind of went away with it for all the other Jurassic sequels they made. So I didn't really like that. And they made some comments about it. If you remember, in Jurassic Park 3, when Sam Neill's character comes back as a leading character, they kind of hinted at it. But I felt like that was kind of poorly done. I thought there'd be a really cool relationship with those two. And similar enough, Raiders of the Lost Ark between Indy and Marion.
Oh, yeah.
I really like their relationship. And there was a lot of similar to his relationship with his dad in the third one. It just really worked, the way they talked to each other.
Did you see Indiana Jones 4?
Yeah, I did.
Because that helped wrap up their relationship.
I know, but I'm talking about
almost the franchise.
I wish they did more of that. But they chose not to do it from episode, Temple, and they have that blonde lady. I mean, come on, why'd you ruin that? You could have.
Come on.
Well, Kate Capshaw, Steven Spielberg's wife.
I know, I understand that, but I'm talking to Care. I really wish there had some more continuous relationship with Marion, but instead they just waited till 4 came out and they're like, oh, guess what? You have a son.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what?
And what a son.
Yeah.
Was that Shia? Was that the
So
son?
love stories, those are kind of what movies I really liked. I wish they showed more of a love story in those elements, but that's not what we were given, and that's the way it is.
Yeah. You gotta take what you're given, man.
I'm sure there's some fan fiction out there that probably has what you want. I bet you.
Written by George R.R. Martin, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, my number one is a movie from 2017 called The Big Sick. I talked about that here on the show. Have either of y'all seen The Big Sick?
No.
Movie sucked.
No, it did not. Are you kidding me?
She didn't die. There's no point to that.
Well, first off, you should
Spoiler.
tell all the ends of movies to people. But The Big Sick is a movie with Kumail Nanjiani.
I want a Romeo and Juliet type ending.
Or the double suicide.
Yeah, those are the best.
Yeah, those are the best. It's got Kumail Nanjiani, who's a popular comedian. He's not a popular comedian.
He's a comedian?
Kumail?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he gets small roles.
Comedy, stand-up comedy is his number one thing.
Is it really?
I think
did
so.
not know that. Okay.
I think he is a comedian who then also now is in Silicon Valley, and he's been in a few other things. So anyways, but he was in The Big Sick. He wrote The Big Sick. It's actually kind of based on him and his wife wrote it together. It was kind of based on their life. So it's a true story.
Yeah.
Or true-ish story. And basically him and this girl, he's Pakistani. His family's trying to hook him up with all these Pakistani women, arranged marriage kind of thing. He ends up finding this white girl that he falls in love with, or maybe even just kind of falls in like with, I guess they're in love, but their relationship is not that far along when she goes into this mysterious coma, basically, and he doesn't know what's going on, and so he ends up there's a lot of fish out of water, white family, Pakistani family, we don't get along, we don't know each other's cultures, stuff like that. But it's this story of she's sitting there sick in bed and like unresponsive for like months at a time or whatever it is. And to see the way that he like stays with her, the way that he, kind of sticks it out, even when, in fact, I think they were in a fight right before she got sick. So like the last things they said to each other were like not real nice things. And it's been a while since I've seen this, so I'm trying to remember every detail. But anyways, to see the way that he, sticks with her and stuff, I think there's a lot of humor in this as well. I thought it was really funny. I thought it had a lot of heart to it also. I really liked The Big Sick. Dick did not, but he has terrible taste in movies.
Yeah,
yeah. So.
Well, I always felt like movies like that, where they have that true story background, it's going to be really awkward when they actually hit like their 50s together and they get a divorce. And it's like, oh, remember that time you wrote this movie that was so perfect and what people wanted to see is love? And now you're over here.
Yeah, I wish you talked to me one time like that movie. I wish you, you wrote all those sweet lines. I wish you ever said that to me.
There you go.
Remember when I almost died? Were you screwing her then too? We've all been there.
We've all been.
We've all
yeah,
been
I'm
there.
sure we have.
When your girl is in a coma and you're screwing somebody else.
The tale as old as time. It's a trope. It's a
Yeah.
It's a cliche.
I'm surprised you didn't say Moulin Rouge.
No, I don't love Moulin Rouge.
It's like it's up your wheelhouse. I thought.
Lindsay loves Moulin Rouge. Wait, no, hold on. Which one does she love? Maybe Moulin Rouge. I don't know. I've seen that like one time a long time ago. Whatever.
Oh.
What's John Leguizamo doing now? Nothing.
He's probably in some movie.
Wow, good one.
I'm just kidding.
Zing.
All right,
Well,
burn John Leguizamo.
So Love. And
Love.
it is it's a reason to go see movies.
All you need.
And I'm glad we had a good selection of movies. I'd love to hear other people's
please.
random selection because I don't know. We always talk about chick flicks when people go love, but there's other we gave good examples of other things. At least I did. I don't know.
Yeah, MacGruber.
Now, I will say this. There is a movie that comes
That's
out
a cop-out.
on Valentine's Day. Isn't It Romantic? Starring Rebel Wilson.
That movie looks good.
It looks fantastic.
I'm super excited.
It looks very funny. So if you're looking for another option,
Let's kind of talk. Are you going to see it?
I would like to see
Does
it.
that come out on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
So the day the show comes out.
I know
It comes out
for
Thursday,
the
yeah.
next episode, I'm reviewing Paddington 2, which is on HBO. The reason I chose that movie because I heard all 100% positive. Like they said this is one of the best kids movies in the last decade. And I'm like, man, I don't have kids, but when someone makes that kind of, I'm talking about, it's like unanimously said this is one of the best movies. Apparently, the first one was best too. So very rare does a sequel actually equal it or make it better. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to go out of order. I might see Paddington 1 at one point, but it's on HBO streaming, so I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and check out Alita because that should be out.
The Battle Angel movie?
Battle Angel, man.
Yep. That
Mixed
also
reviews on
comes
that.
out the 14th.
Mixed reviews, but it's been it's a James Cameron, right?
Yeah.
And,
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rob Rod. So you got to check that out. And you should see the Rebel Wilson movie if you can. You may not have time, but if you can, I'd love to hear about that. Well, cool. Well, if you want to tweet at us about your top 3 love stories and let us know what's going on there, we'd love to get you involved in the ticket giveaway that we do every week. We want to thank Grand Theater and Amstar for everything they do, sponsoring the show and everything like that. And we'll be back next week with more fun and frivolity. So thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend.
Let's not forget the group rewind.
Group Rewind is what?
On the 28th.
It's at the 28th. Yeah,
28th.
the movie The Killer
We're
from
squeaking it in on
1989.
February the 28th. The Killer from
That is
1989.
the-
John Woo.
The last day of February.
It is the last day. Yes.
John Woo.
John Woo Woo Woo. Kenny Woo.
So I'm
That's from
excited
Mighty
about
Ducks.
that. I think the only problem we created was you can only see it by DVD or Blu-ray. You can't stream it. You can't find a pirated copy anywhere. And
So did your order come in?
my order came in, and I'm watching it. I think we're watching it tomorrow.
You got to watch it quick and give it to
So-
us so we can watch it.
Yeah.
But that's The Killer, 1989. It's a disillusioned assassin accepts one last hit in hopes of using his earnings to restore vision to a singer he accidentally blinded, only to be double-crossed by
Very
his
noble.
boss.
It's kind of
So-
Valentine's-y.
Well,
In the future, we shouldn't do ones that you can only buy, right?
no, I think we should do movies. And I chose this movie because I wanted to see this movie. I heard this inspired a lot of action movies. And John Woo went from here to Brokeback Mountain somehow. So I want to see where that came from. And
I'm sure it'll be a clear path. I'm sure it will be. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. Give us a 5-star review. Make sure to share this on social media, if you will, to help get more eyeballs on it and everything like that. We appreciate everything y'all guys do for the show. For Dick, for Chris, my name is Connor. We are signing off on the Ticket Stub.
Hey, Stubby's Dick again. Just a quick reminder is on the 28th is actually also not just our group rewind with the killer, but also our Oscar update. I believe the Oscars will be the weekend before, so make sure if you want to play the game with us, there should be many ballots online available. Do it and submit it to us and see how you do against Connor and Chris and I. So we're going to be playing for the dude, of course, the classic soldier, or golden statue, I mean. Sorry. But yeah, so don't forget to submit your ballots. You can email us. We're at Facebook. We got Twitter. Just look up the Ticket Stub podcast or our show page at irlonestar.com/TTS. But yeah, so we're looking forward to the Oscars this year. And we'll be back here on the Ticket Stub.